Financial literacy is not something that most kids are taught at school, but a new simulated program is giving students a taste of real-world financial situations. And to learn more, we welcome Rachel Caballero from True West Credit Union. Rachel, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. We're
talking about first of all, before we get to this program, the state of financial literacy among young people. What are you seeing out there?
It's pretty detrimental that kids are going into adulthood without having the knowledge. When we have been able to see where the mistakes that we made as children were and what kind of things would have benefited us to learn going into adulthood, and still not a lot of stuff is being done to help that. So we are out there in the community teaching young adults day in and day out and giving them the education to arm them to make those financial decisions when they're ready.
I saw 32% of teenagers can't tell the difference between a credit card and a debit card. That ring true to you?
That does.
Yeah. Is it getting better or worse?
It's been about the same. As we are understanding the importance for financial education and we're getting out there, it's an initiative that lots of credit unions have and banks have as well. We are seeing those numbers come up a little bit, but as of right now, they've stayed the same. So it gives us a good idea of what we need to focus on when we go out there.
Now, and I want to talk about your program, and one more question, though, regarding this general view. Why isn't financial literacy taught at schools?
That's a good question that I don't have the answer to.
Is it because they're afraid they might step on toes or say, you know, you need to save this, but you shouldn't save that? And people say, no, I teach my kid that. You don't teach my kid that.
It could be. I think a lot of it has to do with just regular education, that they're focused more on the other aspects of education. And so to take time away from a regular curriculum to deliver financial education is something that they might not see importance on. Arizona does have a requirement that before teens graduate high school, they do have to take a finance class. And there are a lot of organizations like Arizona Council on Economic Education that go in and help the teachers do this. At True West Credit Union, we do the same thing. We sponsor several schools throughout the valley with Bonsai, which is financial education, unlimited resources for the teachers and the students to use it. It's just up to the teacher to decide how they want to introduce that into their curriculum.
Okay, let's talk about Bite of Reality, this financial education simulation. What's this all about?
It's pretty fun. It's a financial experimental simulation. So they go in, it's all app-based. It's from the Richard Miles Johnson Foundation out of California. And participants are given a persona. So they learn what their job is going to be, how much they're making a month, what their spouse's job and income is, what their credit score is, how many kids they have, and then they get to run through the simulation for about an hour and a half and learn how to finance as an adult in this room where they can make mistakes and get the help that they need while they're there. There's a credit union table that's able to educate them and coach them on the decisions that they've made and be able to help them determine wants and needs so that they can make better decisions for the remainder of the simulation.
Sounds like SimCity, only in a financial way, huh?
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
kind of. Okay, so the kid starts off, and obviously you have to tell the child, here's the family, here's the spouse, here's the money that you have, here's the money that's available. I mean, each kid gets a different persona, I take it?
They do. And after they get the persona, they get their monthly budget, and then we have them open a checking account with that monthly budget. And as they visit these different tables, like purchasing a home, purchasing a car, kid care, diapers and formula, things that we need to have as an adult if we have children, then it automatically takes it out of their budget. It shows them what they have left in their budget and gives them the ability to kind of make these mistakes and make these decisions on their own.
What happens when a kid makes a mistake and winds up, their persona winds up in a financial bind?
That's why the credit union table's there.
Oh, I see.
So, a lot of times these kids go straight to the transportation or housing table. By the end, they understand that might not have been the best decision
Yeah.
if they have children and have other obligations that they need to figure out first. But really that financial or the credit union table is there to help talk to them about the decisions that they did make based off of their own knowledge, and then give them additional knowledge to be able to go back out and maybe return. So maybe the volunteers at the table are trained to upsell just like in real life. So maybe somebody went there and they got sold on 3 TVs, one for every kid's bedroom, because then you get to watch whatever show you want and the kid can just play games. Maybe they understand that that might not have been the best decision, not just for the kid, but for the family. So then they're able to go back and return a couple TVs so that they can afford a car with air conditioning to take their kids to school rather than having to ride the bus.
I was going to say, for kids that find themselves in that financial bind, there are ways out. They get a second chance. When they get that second chance, does the bell ring a little bit?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And we're seeing with the education that they're receiving at the credit union table that they're able to make better educated decisions as they move through the remainder. And then we always follow it up with a debrief at the end and talk about, hey, what did you guys learn? What surprised you? What things are you going to start doing today to make sure that you're set up for success going into adulthood?
What do you most often hear?
That kids are really expensive and they're not going to have any. And that it really opens their eyes to how they have to sacrifice for their family, where they have to go back and take things away that they had initially wanted to purchase for themselves because they understand that that was not cohesive to their family budget and things that they needed to do.
So basically, when kids, even the kids that manage to get through it well, it kind of opens their eyes, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. And a lot of these kids come in and they have their parents with them or somebody else with them. And so we talk about just the importance of having those conversations. Don't make budgeting be a behind closed doors thing that your kids don't see. They need to be involved in that because this is a pivotal time in their life where they're going on to buy their first car.
Yes.
Figure out how to finance college, start saving for a home. And if you don't have the conversations and arm them with the knowledge, then they're not going to do it as well as they could. So
Well,
having the conversations is important.
No kidding. Good stuff. Rachel Caballero, True West Credit Union, and the Bite of Reality education simulation. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.